The Texas Medical and Dental School Application Service, TMDSAS, is the centralized system that students will have to apply through if they're applying to participating medical, dental, or veterinary schools in Texas. Although the TMDSAS is similar to MCAS, students will have to complete and submit 2 additional essays, the Personal Characteristics Essay and the Optional Essay. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Personal Characteristics Essay. I'll be discussing what the essay prompt is asking, show you how to write an effective essay, and then I'll go over a successful TMDSAS Personal Characteristics Essay example. A quick intro from me first. Hi, I'm Nadine Evans with BeMo Academic Consulting. Be sure to subscribe on whatever social media channel you're watching this from now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you'd like us to help you get into medical school, click on the link either above or below this video to schedule your free initial consultation. So students often want to know, how hard is it to get into Texas medical schools? Well, that completely depends on whether or not you're applying as a Texas resident or as an out-of-state resident. So each year, approximately 5,800 applicants apply to TMDSAS medical schools for roughly 1,600 available spots. Of those 1,600 matriculants, 92% are Texas residents, meaning only 8% are from out of state. So your chances are definitely a lot better if you're a Texas resident, but still, 128 students were accepted that were from out of state. Over the past few years, accepted students have had an average GPA of 3.77 and an average MCAT score of 509. So if your GPA and MCAT score are close to the average or better than average, then you definitely have a fighting chance. So what is the TMDSAS Personal Characteristics Essay anyway? Well, it's a required component of your TMDSAS application. Keep in mind that you'll only be submitting one application, and that same application will be used to apply to multiple schools, all for a flat rate of $185. So it's a lot cheaper than applying through AMCAS. So in 2,500 characters or less, including spaces, students are required to respond to this prompt that I'll read to you now. Learning from others is enhanced in educational settings that include individuals from diverse backgrounds and experiences. Please describe your personal characteristics, background, talents, skills, etc., or experiences that would add to the educational experience of others. So if you're thinking to yourself, what does that even mean? Don't worry, because a lot of students find that prompt challenging and even confusing. So first we need to decode the prompt to determine what it's actually asking for. The best way to think of this essay is to think of it like a diversity essay for medical school. So essentially, you're being asked what form of diversity you can bring to a medical school class that will benefit other students. It's important to think of diversity as a broad term, referring to backgrounds, skills, insights, and experiences that make you unique as a candidate and allow you to bring forth different knowledge, perspectives, and ideas. So think about a classroom composed of 100 students all from the same background, the same ethnicity, the same location, the same culture, compared to a classroom that was composed of 100 individuals all from different categories. The more diverse a group of individuals, the richer and more creative that group becomes. And this is what the admissions committee is looking for in this personal characteristics essay. They want to select individuals that will make up a diverse medical class with the ability to challenge one another, to push each other, to empathize, think differently, show compassion, and change for the better. So in your essay, you need to reveal what piece of the puzzle you have, what makes you unique, and how will your experiences in life help other students too. So how can you demonstrate this diversity in your TMDSAS Personal Characteristics essay? By discussing an experience or experiences that you had that were beneficial to you as a person, which will enable you to bring something useful to the incoming class to help you and others become better physicians. So we see this time and time again that students feel that they don't have anything to contribute. They may think that because they're not from a traditional category of diversity, such as race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, and culture, that they have nothing worth discussing. Well, this simply isn't true and has to do with the common misconception around the word diversity. So diversity doesn't only apply to those who may fall into one of the traditional categories. Every single person has something to share and something that holds value. No person in the entire world has had your own unique experience, which is why no one in the world is exactly like you. And that's because each activity we do or each interaction we have, we're always changing, we're learning, and we're gaining knowledge. It's impossible for someone to experience your identical life. Even identical twins are not identical people. So the idea of the TMDSAS personal characteristics essay is for the admissions committee to learn about what makes you you and how you can, in turn, benefit the incoming class. So let's go over 3 categories that you can consider to help you determine how you can demonstrate diversity in your essay. As with all personal essays, you need to first determine who you are as a person so you can learn about who you are as a candidate. So let's go through a series of questions. Now make sure you note down if you answer yes to any of these questions so you can find out your own meaningful experiences that are valuable in becoming a physician. So let's start with the first category. So who are you? Where did you grow up? What was the town or city like? What was your family like? And how do you identify yourself? Next, you need to think about what you have accomplished or experienced. So have you traveled abroad? Were you born one place but grew up in another place? Maybe you served in the military. Are you part of any teams or groups? Have you volunteered in your community? Have you participated in shadowing a doctor, or maybe you were tutoring someone? Did you have to learn a new language? And finally, let's go over the third category, which is what has challenged you and what have you had to overcome? So consider these questions and note down any questions where you answered yes or any questions where you feel you have an interesting story. So have you experienced illness? Have you been injured before? Have you cared for a sick family member? Have you taught or cared for someone with a disability or an injury? Have you ever been bullied before? Have you ever had to face rejection? Okay, so now for the construction of the essay. So experiences don't have to be exotic or require travel. You just have to connect back to how your experience influenced you in your journey to become a physician. Although you may have had many experiences throughout your life that pushed you or drove you to medicine, it's important to only focus on 1 to 3 experiences in your essay. And always be keeping in mind the character limit of 2,500 characters, including spaces. So that's not a lot of words, so your essay has to be very direct and streamlined. So as you work through the responses to the questions that I asked you, highlight a few experiences that you feel were paramount in your life and were meaningful in your pursuit of medicine. And when you begin writing your essay, make sure that it's reflective. This isn't an essay just to list the challenges you faced or the experiences you had. Always, always, always be thinking, what did I learn from that experience? Did I gain an appreciation for a different group of people? What skills did I grasp or improve moving forward? How can this benefit others who may not have had the same experience? How can this benefit others receiving care? And overall, how can this be useful in my career as a doctor? Last but not least, your essay has to show instead of tell. You've likely heard this before, but it doesn't make it any less true or important. It doesn't work to simply say, I was bullied in school, which made me more resilient. The reader wants to be taken on a journey and wants to discover what happened, how you felt, how you changed your mindset, and how it made you stronger. You have to use concrete examples and need to describe why you are more resilient today. Listing items holds no value and isn't believable. Remember, everyone can list an item, but not everyone can support their discussion through personal examples. Okay, so now let me read you a successful TMDSAS personal characteristics essay from one of our students. Being from Nigeria, a third world country, I have firsthand knowledge of what it means not to have access to healthcare. Growing up in Nigeria, I saw a lot of people not able to get the healthcare they needed because they could not afford the cost of healthcare and had to suffer ill health and serious morbidity. I was opportune to provide healthcare to underserved populations in Corpus Christi, Laredo, and San Antonio. We provided free health screenings, physical assessments, sports physicals, and administered influenza vaccines to these disadvantaged populations. My African background and nursing career have made me a culturally competent caregiver. Being from a culture that is different from the traditional American culture, I know the essence of being able to understand and appropriately respond to unique health beliefs and practices of diverse groups. As a healthcare worker in the United States, I have had the opportunity to interact with people from diverse backgrounds. This has made me more respectful of the beliefs, values, languages, and traditions of people that are different from mine. I can influence my classmates by teaching them to respectfully interact with people of diverse backgrounds. I had difficulty understanding Americans when they spoke to me during my early years in America. Many Americans had difficulties understanding me as well because we spoke with different accents. People got frustrated when I did not understand them, and I asked them to repeat what they said. I have gotten better because I conditioned myself to listen carefully and repeat what they said to ensure that I understood what they were trying to convey. I will teach my classmates to listen carefully and patiently to people who speak differently from them and try to repeat what they say to ensure they have an understanding of what is said. This reduces the frustration of not being able to communicate effectively. When I get into medical school, I hope to share my experiences with these underserved populations with my classmates to broaden their knowledge about the challenge these populations face and to bring to their understanding that healthcare disparities do occur even in developed countries such as Australia and the United States. Okay, so there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you have any questions that we can help you with. If you'd like us to help you with your medical school application, go to BeMo.blog to schedule your free consultation. Thanks for watching and see you next time.